We're live? Okay, good. I'll let, he's got a nice little presentation, I'm glad to see.
About this whole caffeine and all this stuff. So he called me back.
Well, good morning to you all. I
They're gonna have them coffee again, 'cause this-
welcome you to the June 3rd meeting of the Morgan County Commissioners. And we'll begin with a pledge of allegiance. I'd like Billy, where are you at? Billy, trustee, Clay Township, lead us in the pledge, and then we'll
He's in
follow
the
that.
back row, just like school.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Billy. I'd like to have a moment of silent prayer, remembering those people that are suffering with addictions and other ailments, and for those thoughts for those who are protecting us. Thank you, Naomi. I see some new faces, some I'm familiar and some I'm not sure I recall. I think they've been here before, but I thought it'd be appropriate to just make to point out some of the people that are here on this front table. On my left, and at the very end, is Deb Verley, our administrative assistant, note taker, and general keep us in line person. And next to her is Linda Pruitt, who keeps the finances of our county audited, and is a delight to work with. To my left is Brian Collier, a commissioner from District 1.
His favorite commissioner.
Okay. Yeah, that's trying to get me off the hook or something. I have two favorite commissioners. I'm Don Adams, commissioner president this year. We rotate. To my right is our dear friend Kenny Hale, who's recovering from a rotor cuff surgery. And to his right is our attorney and counselor, Ann Cowgirl, I think I said that. I have a hard time.
Cowgirl, that's fine.
Cowgirl. And we're glad to have her. And our table in the front is our county administrator, Josh Mesmer. And we've got some city folks here. The mayor's in the back. Hello, Kenny. And up in front, a guy that just takes care of a lot of the business of the city, Gary Oaks, a friend of a long time. And there's other officials here. I won't go through all the names, but I just thought you need to know, some of you people online don't know who all's doing what. Yeah, we've got some, that's a lot of the folks that are going to be involved in the meeting today. We'll begin with our new business, and that begins with our claims from the auditor's office. Do you have any emotions or suggestions, or how would you like to handle the claims?
Brian Collier makes a motion that we accept the total payroll and accounts payable claims totaling $4,393,682.48.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the claims. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Second item on our new business is the minutes from we've actually got two sets of minutes, both of them in the May meetings, May the 6th and May the 20th. I'll entertain a motion on those.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion to approve the minutes of May 6th and May 20th. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. And thank you, Deb, for the good job you do with those. We have a treasurer's report. Is Terry here? Treasurer. She gives us a treasurer's report monthly. Do we have any concerns, or you want to make a motion concerning the treasurer's monthly report?
Kenny Hill makes a motion acknowledging that we did receive the county treasurer's monthly report.
Motion's been made, was to acknowledge, is that what? Yep. That's what to acknowledge the monthly report from the treasurer's office, and it's been seconded. All in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Now in front of us, in new business, we have a grant application from Court Services. Good morning.
Good morning. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm Miranda Beaucamp. I'm the Assistant Chief Probation Officer, and we are seeking approval to apply for the Justice Partners Addictions Response Grant. It's administered by the Indiana Office of Court Services in partnership with the Division of Mental Health and Addiction. This would be our 6th round receiving this funding. It is not a matching grant. This funds our court community outreach liaison and the work that she does. It's fully funded by this grant. She's actually here. Her name's Joni Bishop, and some of the things that she's done over the last 5 years that we've had this grant, she was the co-founder of Morgan County's Suicide Overdose Fatality Review Board that meets monthly. And she's also organized a service providers meeting for any service provider in Morgan County that has grown from 5 people to approximately 90 people, and they meet monthly and discuss services available in the county. So we're proud of the work that this grant has accomplished over the last 5 years, and we are seeking approval to apply again. The grant period is October 1st, 2024 to September 29th, 2025.
October, September, a year's worth of goodies, huh?
Yeah, it's on the federal schedule. Yeah.
A very simple question. Well, I have a question. I don't know how simple. First of all, thank you for pursuing this grant. You said there was a group of 9 that meet.
90 service providers from the various agencies inside Morgan County and then also outside Morgan County, but that provide services to citizens of Morgan County.
And they meet?
They meet monthly.
And what is that called?
It's the Morgan County Service Providers Meeting, and I can have Joni Bishop send you an invitation. There's a judge that attends, so.
Okay. I
I'm
wouldn't
sure-
mind being there. I was on the mental health group, and there's a lot of information shared that I wouldn't mind. So if you put me on that list, I
Sure.
appreciate it. Thank you. Do we have any questions about the grant? I'll entertain a motion.
Kenny Hill makes a motion, we approve court service for the Judicial Partners Addiction Response Grant in the amount of $60,000.
Brian Carter seconds.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. And thank you.
Thank you.
We also have another grant application concerned with recycling. And Eric Kivett, our recycle guy, shall present that. He's also our stand-in IT guy.
Temporary IT,
Did you have to
temporary
get
weights
the-
and measures, a
the
little bit
what?
of everything. Weights and measures, a little bit of everything right now. Yeah.
Just Johnny of all things.
So right now, IDM has an opportunity for grants up to $500,000, anywhere from $50,000 to $500,000 that go toward recycling improvements. If you have the list, there's a couple bullet points that kind of highlights people eligible as long as you're increasing recyclable material collected, which we definitely wouldn't now, or reducing solid waste, or you improve your partnership with the communities that you're in, you're eligible for this. I think this is hopefully a no-brainer. We'll definitely be needing some money coming up very soon. So anything we could get would definitely help our program, so.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions about it,
just
except
wanna
there's
point
not a
out-
matching, correct?
No matching on this.
No match, just
We
hopefully
have
we get it.
up to a year
Okay.
if we're awarded anything. And then we have a Toxway Day at the end of this month on the 29th. Want to make sure everybody's aware of that. It'll be at Mooresville High School, so up in Don's territory there.
All right, yeah. Well, it's a good program.
8 to 1 on that Saturday, so 29th.
Question?
Well, a comment. I love being in a small community and knowing a lot of people, and since our emails were down for a couple of days last week, I actually went out on Facebook, and the mayor sitting in here as a dear friend of mine, I was just wondering if we get this grant, a reduction in municipal solid waste shipped to final disposal, and I just didn't know where you were shipping Kenny and I. Some of the comments, there's a lot of
Is
people
this-
out there that still have no clue what good direction and all the meetings we're doing and everything that we're doing, they are still clueless to the direction of where we're going. And
You want my
it's an
answer on the
excellent time
record
for
or
to
off
say
the
there's
record?
lots of public meetings that people can come. So, no, that cracked me up.
No comment on the answer.
Do we have a motion on the grant application approval?
Brian Kyer makes the motion that we boost Indiana's recycling efforts and apply for the grant, and hopefully we'll be towards the $500,000 mark.
It's been made and seconded, motion's been made and seconded that we approve this grant application and hope we get it. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, Eric.
Would you, a quick update on, I get phone calls and messages and texts from several people, but do you have any updates on the property that we're looking at, or? We're going to close when?
July 1st.
July 1st?
July 1st.
Okay, I didn't put my ears in this morning, so, thank you. Yeah, that's what I told him, I thought was, the closing was kind of, we gave another little extension to get some work done, and once we get the property, then we can start putting something together with it, so, well, we're already planning to do that, of course. Okay, thank you. And for those public, or you in the public, the site is up near center part of the county, up in Billy Mitchell country, and we'll, it's as center as we can get. We'd like to have, but it's a big county. But that should be a real asset to our recycling program. People are anxious to get back to the recycling. Right now, if they have to truck a load of something that they need to take for recycling, they can go to Morgantown, is that correct? No, or
Yep, the fire station.
Town Fire Station. So I don't think it's overflowing, I hope not, with but I just want people to know they can still recycle in the county. It's just a little bit of a drive. Of course, Morgantown is a little dry for some people, but not for the people who live there. Okay. Next item we have on our agenda for new business is the interlocal agreement with Hendricks County. We already approved this. This was the second reading of it. So yes, Justin, I should introduce. Justin is our county engineer, Justin Snake.
Yep.
Ray Township boy.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, everyone. Yes, so like you explained, we've brought this to you before. There were some questions about the agreement when I first brought it to you about Mooresville owning Old State Road 267 south of county line. It does, in fact, turn out Mooresville does own the road, but if there is work beyond their right-of-way limits on our side of the county line, we need to have an agreement in place to grant the Hendricks County jurisdiction to purchase right-of-way in our county. So due to that confusion, we didn't get a signature the first time, so I'm just reintroducing this to get it on the agenda and get a signature. So,
Thank you, Justin.
thank you.
We have so we need approval for the second reading of this interlocal agreement with Hendricks County so they can purchase land up. It's actually, it used to be 267, which is now changed names, but that was on our agenda from the last meeting, this second reading, so we can finish and get it accomplished. Do we have any, do we have a motion on that?
Kenny Hill makes a motion, we approve the second reading on the interlocal agreement with Hendricks County.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded that we proceed with the second reading on the agreement with Hendricks County for the purchase of some property in Morgan County so they can make an improvement on that intersection. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. The next item on our agenda is a ordinance for, with the clerk's office, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to entertain a motion to table that. There needs to be some more discussion, and if you don't mind, we need to probably put that on the meeting for the second meeting this month.
The clerk fleet fee schedule?
Yeah, it's got to do with copies, statutory copy fees and certification, or certified copy fees and so forth. There was just a little bit of confusion between the fee schedule I was given and the statute I was reading, so we're gonna get back together on that.
Okay. Brian Carter makes the motion that we table the ordinance until our next meeting.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to table the ordinance 2024-10 clerk fee schedule to the meeting of our second meeting this month. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passed 3-0. Justin, again, do you want to bring your request? This is for an on-call engineering agreement?
Yes, so this is a request for you guys to sign an on-call engineering agreement with Crossroad Engineers. This would be used for professional design services on an as-needed basis. You know, anything from traffic studies to drainage studies to, you know, road improvements. So I've worked with these guys. This was actually my former employer. I've worked with these guys for many years. You know, they do great work. I have no, you know, great confidence in their abilities and everything. So looking for your approval to get this contract signed, and if you have any questions, please let me know.
I reviewed the contract. It includes the E-Verify language that we would need, and there's no need for non-appropriation language in this because it would be something these services bill for as they're incurred. So it's not like a procurement contract where you're going to be locked in for a service fee of X number of dollars per year.
So we need to make that a part of the motion that we approve, or just make sure it's there?
I'm reassuring you that I have looked at this contract.
I'm sorry, I
and
didn't hear
it's
that
all good.
first.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up, that's
In
what I
term-
was looking.
I mean,
Okay.
it's up to you all on the terms, but from a legal perspective, it seems to check the boxes that we need it to check.
Good. And we also have, for the public in general, we have several of these agreements with other engineering firms that we can call upon, and we make sure that the structure is there, so we don't just, hey, what do you think? So thank you for that, and thank you, Ann, for clarifying to me. I'm sorry I didn't catch that the first time.
Okay.
And just a point that, point 17, sometime I'd like to discuss why that's the Iran representation. That just
That was
jumped.
a new one on me, but it was, at least I had the things that we
I would
needed
think that it's-
to have.
Yeah, if you would include that, you would have to include a list of other countries that are on the prohibited list, but that one just, I found that odd in the contract. There's a clause in here about doing business with representatives from Iran.
I've seen that.
We
in
are
other-
growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just struck me as being totally odd, so,
For pointing that out.
yeah.
Okay. Any other comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Hill makes a motion, we approve the professional service agreement between Morgan County and Crossroad Engineering for on-call services.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded for this engineering agreement. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. We have on the next item on the agenda is the deed of dedication, but I think that needs, correct, Ann, do we need to work on this a little bit?
Yes, and unfortunately, that is completely your county attorney's fault. Misunderstood the assignment and did not get back to Justin in time. So we will,
We put this and table it till the 17th?
Kenny Howe makes a motion, we approve, or table the deed of dedication for the enclave section 5.
We have a second.
Whose fault was it? Second.
Pesky guy. Motion been made and table, or made and seconded that we table the the deed of dedication. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The next item is a very interesting contract we're looking at. I think I want to preface this as simply saying most of the phone calls that we get, a lot of the phone calls we get, I don't know it's the most, deal with the county engineer and our highway department. And we have the county engineer and the highway superintendent is going to explain a new system that will help people understand why didn't you fix my road today? And when are they going to get to it? And this is going to be a little interesting for me too. Thank you.
I'll start us off here, and then if Eddie has anything to chime in, I'll step aside. But this is for Violytics. It's a software that will use AI. We set a camera in the dashboard of our trucks, and we run the roads, and it'll analyze the condition of the pavement and assign a Payzer rating to our roads. From then, I'll let our partner here, Slater Rush with Violytics, is going to give a small presentation, so he'll be able to go more in-depth. But, you know, Eddie and I sat down with Slater a couple weeks ago, went through, you know, see what they had to offer. We think this is a great opportunity for the county just to kind of move forward. You know, technology is advancing all around us, so I think we need to jump on board or we'll get left behind. Eddie, if you got anything? Yeah, and then, like I said, this is Slater Rush with Violytics. He's got a short presentation, and then once that's complete, we'll feel free to ask us any questions. We'll answer whatever we can.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction, and again, thanks for having me here to give you a little bit of an overview of Violytics and how, you know, other counties are currently utilizing us along with some cities as well. So kind of as Justin mentioned, we're an AI road management platform. So kind of the current way majority of counties and municipalities are doing their road management processes along with their road inspections for their asset management plans every year is typically manual. So they're hopping in the vehicle, manually driving every single road at a very slow speed, and having to stop at the end of that segment, manually jot down or write into an Excel spreadsheet what the rating is and what damages they picked up. So not only is it very time consuming and laborious, you know, from a manpower standpoint, but it can also be a safety concern driving at slow speeds, having to constantly stop on every single road, and having to even potentially get out of the vehicle to look at specific damages. So Violytics is able to automate that process utilizing simple smartphones mounted on really any municipal vehicle and driving up to 40 miles per hour, and the condition assessments are automatically being done. So what it kind of looks like in the actual vehicle is this right here. You're simply mounting an iPhone either in the windshield or you can mount it on the outside of a vehicle as well. Click a couple buttons, drive, and then we're automatically providing the Payzer ratings for every single road segment that you're typically submitting for your asset management plan every year for your community crossings funding. But it can also help with, you know, potential other grants as well in the future with potential signs, and I'll get into that here in just a second. But essentially what the software is doing, as you're driving down the road, our software is automatically taking photos every single 10 feet. Once that phone comes back, gets connected to Wi-Fi, it's automatically processing through our AI algorithm, and we're picking up all of these surface level pavement distresses. So our camera's automatically doing it, whereas, you know, typically you're having to manually drive the roads and rely on your your eyesight and just visually picking up all of these damages can obviously be very subjective, and, you know, things can get missed that can be very important, you know, from a preventative maintenance standpoint when you're talking about small cracks that can be very difficult to see just with the naked eye. So we're able to pick up, you know, all of those specific damaged classes, and we're actually categorizing those, whether it's an actual longitudinal crack, alligator cracking. If you wanted to literally find every single pothole within the county and create tasks off of those, we could, you know, just drive the roads and automatically find every single one for you. So what that, you know, essentially looks like, I had the pleasure of coming to Morgan County and being able to do a quick test drive. So we just did a few miles here, roughly about 12 miles, as you can see here on the map. But all of that data gets uploaded into this web system where Justin and Eddie can actually analyze all of this very easily from one single web system. They can, you know, have an entire snapshot of their entire road network in here and be able to utilize this to plan accordingly based on, you know, what maintenance needs prioritized. So you can click into really any single road segment in here. You can see on the right-hand side, it's going to provide your PASER ratings along with every single damage class that's being picked up. So we can see, you know, every single type of damage that we're picking up on that roadway. From these inspections, you're also always going to have the image data as well. So you can click into the images and you can travel along, kind of like Google Street View, and you can see, you know, every single damage type that's being picked up every single time. Along with the images, I will notate that we do comply with very strict data privacy laws. So we originally were a European company from Germany originally, and so we comply with GDPR compliant laws. So every single image, if there were a license plate or a face in there, it automatically anonymizes it and blurs it out. So there's no, you know, concern from a citizen standpoint of any sort of privacy that's going to be taken from that. Automatically deletes that and blurs that out. But you can see, you know, again, every single damage class and category on the right-hand side along with those ratings. And they're able to filter all of these as well, especially when they're looking at planning different things or creating tasks for every single pothole very efficiently. They can come over here onto the left-hand side column. We could filter specifically if we're wanting to just look at, you know, specifically our worst first case scenarios, if we're wanting to look at our worst, very worst segments of roads that need to be prioritized. So we can, you know, highlight these. So we have a couple segments here that may need to be taken a look at based on the condition rating, or we could specifically look at damage types. So kind of as I mentioned earlier, if we're wanting to filter for a specific damage type like potholes, we could come into every single one of those 10-foot photos that's being taken, and we can filter specifically for potholes, any sort of other damage class. Luckily on this test drive, we actually didn't find any potholes, so these roads are actually fairly good from a pothole standpoint. But if we wanted to find, you know, specific areas maybe where there's points where there's, you know, pretty severe alligator cracking, for example. So we could find, you know, all of these points, and, you know, we could highlight these specific areas where, you know, we can see some, you know, major cracking happening over here on the right-hand side. That would be considered alligator cracking. So we can filter for all of these, whereas, you know, this is typically right now a manual process. Or, you know, the other way, you know, typically you hire an engineering firm, they come on site, they're going to charge you, you know, $20,000, $30,000 for one inspection, provide you a report, and then after 6 months, that data's old. So the biggest thing that we allow, you know, counties and municipalities to do is they can collect unlimited data with our software. So we're not capping you to just one inspection every single year. We actually emphasize and want you to do more inspections because it's going to allow you to get more frequent data and be able to track the performance of your pavements on a much closer basis. So that way it's you know, eliminating a lot more of your long-term cost if you're able to prioritize more preventative maintenance and catch some of those early cracking before they turn into, you know, a full road reconstruction. If you can do crack sealing, things like that, it's going to eliminate a lot more of your long-term costs if you're able to do more frequent inspections. So we encourage it. A lot of the counties that are utilizing us now are doing an inspection prior to winter and then after winter, so they can see what the freeze thaw did to the road network, and then they can adjust and plan accordingly. So we also, on top of that, kind of wrap up here, but we also have other layers within here as well. One big value for a lot of counties so far has been our sign inventory module. So along with condition assessments, we're also automatically inventorying street signs as well. So it's just happening in the background. So we can turn that layer on for traffic signs, and then now you're able to see exactly where traffic signs are. Not only are we inventorying those traffic signs, we're also telling you the condition of those. So we can tell you if they're dirty, if they're faded. So I can come into the traffic sign module, and I can tell you, where they're at, so we can filter specifically for the different types of signs. We can see if they're stickered, if they're faded, dirty, hidden. So we have, a 40-mile-per-hour sign that's slightly dirtier compared to, maybe a brand-new sign. So we highlighted that. It had, a little bit of mold or mildew kind of growing on it. And then we'll also tell you, things like if a sign is potentially hidden as well. So we had one, I think, that was slightly hidden, not too bad. It just had some branches overhanging that we identified. You can kind of see some branches kind of blocking it. If leaves were to grow on it, then it would probably block that in more detail. So on top of the condition assessment, though, we have task management and planning in here. So one piece that we're kind of working towards is a budget building scenario tool. So you can type in your annual budget, and it'll basically tell you kind of how to prioritize that to extend the overall life and road network of your entire road network. So it's a brief overview of Violytics. There's a lot to it. More than happy to answer any detailed questions that you may have as well. So yeah, it's Violytics.
This is exciting. It is to me. Most of the three commissioners up here probably, I'm speaking just from myself actually, but many of our phone calls are, when are you going to pave a road? And I remember several years ago, it was a different engineer, and he said that there was their judgment, which was very subjective. It wasn't objective. I mean, it was just, you had to train people and all that for PACER rating. PACER rating is the determining factor most of the time. We get usage and all, there's a couple other factors I know you're familiar with. But he said there's those that we say we use PACER ratings and we use the commissioner factor. And I wanted to remove the commissioner factor. That gets competitive between who's going to do
Well,
this.
when
you're gonna
people
do-
call me and ask when I'm gonna pave the road, I say when Kenny lets me. Call him.
No, this is exciting, and I commend the department for reaching out. I knew that there was something coming along several years ago. We could use better technology than just somebody sitting in a seat, wandering down the road and writing stuff down, because you can't drive and write, or you shouldn't. And having a record, how often will you do this?
They do it. So
Oh, you do it yourself?
We provide all the hardware.
So you're going to be doing this, so it'll be on
You
one.
just need the software, right?
Fantastic.
I mean, and I'm thinking on down the road, this I think would be excellent, but then we have to go back though. Let's say there's a road that's got a worse rating and it's a whole lot worse, but it gets 20 cars on it a day versus a road that may be in better shape but gets 20,000 cars on a day. So we'll have to come up with some type of matrix to score, if this has got a 7 and this has got a 3, but this one gets more, that would be more of our decision on this side, coordinated with you two. So, but I think this would give us objective information and then with the objective information of a traffic count, we could make rational decisions on how to best utilize our paving money.
And if I may also, on the traffic count side of things, we're actually building a road database this year. So you'll be able to add things like traffic counts on every single road segment. And that would be where, you as commissioners and Justin and Eddie come in and kind of discuss and develop a strategy on that as well, so.
That's fantastic.
Makes sense to me.
In the past, up till now, we've been doing this through an engineering firm, and they do it once a year. And by the time they get all the roads done and put in, you're 6 months behind already on the road condition. This here, you can update this ourselves. We pay one time a year to an engineering firm, like say 6 months later, you get the results back. Anytime we drive the road and have that in there, it's gonna update automatically, and we can do it as many times as we want. That's the,
It makes such a difference. But
not just a person's opinion. That engineering firm driving around doesn't have this. One guy's looking at it the next year, a different employee's looking at it, so you're getting somebody else's opinion.
Right,
This is
this is,
So are other nearby counties or entities using this type of?
Yeah, so we have 3 counties currently, Fountain County, Indiana, we have Knox County, and then Huntington County currently utilizing it, and then we also have a few municipalities utilizing it as well.
well, I like
I think it's worth trying.
database decisions, you know, especially in planning and it's going to make us where we need to be. I appreciate you pursuing it. Glad you can be working with us.
Absolutely, pleasure.
So, thank you. Do we have any other questions or comments?
The only other comment I would say is that we have a contract in the works on this one, but there were some terms and conditions that had not been presented, and we need to work our addendum in there to have our E-Verify language and non-appropriation language in the event that in year 2, there would not be an appropriation for this.
Okay. Got it?
Got it.
Thanks, gentlemen.
We need to table the contract in front of us until the next meeting?
You don't have a full contract in front of you, so yeah, I would not vote on that particular contract, because if you look at the bottom, there's a box on the second page that says it incorporates the terms and conditions of a website that, yeah, and I didn't have that early enough, so I didn't have a chance to look at that.
Okay.
Polished.
Would there be any way you guys would be willing to contingently accept it upon Ann and I working through those conditions so that we can get going on this and I could sign
I
it?
think that would be appropriate, contingent.
Yeah, basically what we would be doing is verifying that there's nothing scary in the terms and conditions, which I don't anticipate when I look at those online. Adding our addendum, which would have the E-Verify and the non-appropriation language in it. And with that, basically, if you're fine with the price and the 3-year term and, you know, the concept, yes, we could approve it contingent on working out the terms of the agreement.
So that would be a motion that we would make this a contingent upon. We
On us-
accept the contract contingent upon the conditions that they meet these conditions.
Yeah.
So I understand. I think I understand.
Well, you're accepting the agreement to do this, you're entering into it in an agreement in principle, subject to being documented with a contract.
Okay,
How's that?
that sounds good.
I don't get to make motions, though. Kenny?
Mr. Collier's the best at that.
I'll make the motion that we accept the Violytics offer in front of us contingent upon legal review and acceptance of the terms in accordance to the website and you mentioned 2 other things.
And the incorporation of our addendum with statutory
Incorporation of
language.
our addendum. That covers good enough? Thank you.
I'll second.
Any other discussion on that point from the public? All in favor of the motion, say aye. 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 Motion passes 3-0, and thank you for
Thank you.
pursuing this. It's just, I want to dance, but I don't look good.
No, thank you very much.
No. Thanks. Oh, next item, I think we've taken care of all items in the new business, correct?
Yes.
I'll save you the suspense, Don. We're tabling the center point because we're still in discussions.
I'm sorry.
I said we're tabling center point lease easement because we're still in discussions.
How long do you think we'll be discussing?
I told Mr. Messmer that it is my personal mission not to see this on the old business. I want it to be moved up into new business as a plan,
Okay,
something we can do.
thank you. Because I was on motion that we take it totally off, but I'll leave it on there. I will make a motion to table it once again till our next meeting.
Second.
All in favor of the motion to table, say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Request to use the courthouse square. We have here,
I communicated with Mr. McKee last week, and we were having some difficulties with email, and he's out of town today, so he could not be here to present. They've been doing this, I think this is the 600th time, and he's got proof of insurance, and they use it every week. And I told him I did not see a problem, and thank you for doing this. It's kind of a neat, small-town tradition.
I think I saw the other day that he's like 600 times.
Yeah, that's what this
He
one is.
hasn't missed the taps. It's dedication, but also, I guess you'd say, for me, it just says why I love living in Morgan County. When you have that kind of service and caring for beyond us. So, thank
Make a
you.
motion that we accept the use of the courthouse space.
Second.
And seconded, we approve the application for the use of the courthouse square. All in favor, say aye.
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 Real quick to the public audience, that's going to be held from 5 to 7:30 on June 21st. It is the 600 consecutive Friday evening of Taps on the Square.
Next item, I hope, is, well, no, I don't know what the hope, when she comes in front of
The
us.
auditor's office is revolting against
Well,
the auditor.
that's what I thought. And the HR's coming and I see the auditor's office in the back of the room, so I don't know what's, help me out.
Well, I'm
What's
going
up?
to tell you what's going on. We have an employee that did something very, very remarkable, and I just want to tell you about that and to recognize this employee. So, Jody, come here, please. I knew he was going to embarrass him a little bit. So, on Wednesday, April the 23rd, it was just a normal day in the auditor's office. Their auditor had purchased food for them, which she does very frequently to recognize them. This was for Administrative Professionals Day. And there was an employee that got choked and got seriously choked. And Jody, without thinking too much about it, probably not at all, just got her, Heimlicked her, and here come the food, and everybody was good. So we just want to say thank you for your quick actions, and I'm going to read this, and then I would like a picture with you guys and Jody. Certificate of recognition. That's okay. I'll be back tomorrow to take a picture of you and the employee, so you can. I'll get another shot. Okay. Certificate of recognition, we hereby present Joseph H. Neal with this certificate acknowledging your achievement and contribution for displaying dedication and courage during an emergency situation. You came to the aid of others with heroic, life-saving actions. And the 3 commissioners have signed that for you. So, thank you very much. This is for you, too. Yeah. All right, can you guys come down?
Thank you.
They want us in front.
Oh, okay.
I know this, I brought in my regular camera, but. You guys talk for a big brother. Probably do, but, you know, you were a lot younger than me, so. In fact, we all were. All right, turn around, smile. Yeah, it worked.
All right, my turn. For those that don't know, Jody had worked in 911 dispatch for 6.5 years, and just within the last year and a half, he's come to the auditor's office. And they have really liked having him in their office. He's been a great addition. So, thank you for being there.
Thank you, HR, and thank you. I was worried when I first saw the whole auditor's office. I thought, we got a revolt already. I don't know what's good. Thank you, guys.
I said the cat's away, the mice will play.
Next item on our agenda in other business is the tort claim.
I move that we send this on to our insurance.
Been moved and seconded, we send it to the insurance. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0. We're down now to the item 5 of our agenda for the good of the county.
Hey, Don, if I could I sneak something on the end of the
Sure.
agenda here? So several months ago, I brought before you some agreements with MPO and NDOT to reclassify certain roadways in our county to upgrade those classifications due to I-69 coming through the county with the construction. We've sent those into NDOT for the review, and they had a couple comments on those that we needed to extend the classification of these certain roadways to the next intersections. Basically, they don't want us to upgrade a classification and stop it at a intersecting roadway that has a lower classification. So the 3 roadways that they are asking us to extend would be Egbert Road. So essentially, it would go from, we would upgrade Maple Turn from Egbert to Blue Bluff. And then also New Harmony Road, we already asked them to do from Henderson Ford to Cragen. This would go from Cragen to Perry Road, and then also Waverly Park, Old State Road 37. We would extend it from I-69 overpass all the way up to State Route 144. So in order to get NDOT to approve these, we need to extend these roadway classifications to this next further intersection. So I'm just looking at it for your guys' approval to do so. I've reviewed them. We're working with United Consultant on these. Everyone's okay with them. I just need your blessing on it. So.
Do we have any comments or questions on the request? Tell them we'll make a deal. They get that bridge done about September instead of November. We'll sign that thing. No,
Can't make promises, but I can shoot for it, yeah, so.
that 144 bridge is really getting to be a headache for a lot of folks, but I know they're working hard. So we want to make sure we cooperate with NDOT and some of their projects that they're doing, improving the transportation in our county.
Mm-hmm.
So do you need an approval for the vote of the commissioners to do that? Is that
I
what
need
you-
approval, and then I have letters that I will give Deb for you guys to sign.
And do you gentlemen have any clarifications you need? I'll entertain a motion.
Brian Kyer makes a motion that we accept the proposed changes from NDOT.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded that we accept the changes proposed from NDOT. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin. And for the good of the county, do we have any good comments?
Well, you just witnessed one with, you know.
Yeah, that was,
And again,
well, Whitten too, that McKee thing on our, it's just so nice to see that kind of stuff going
I
on.
was reading the other day about a municipality in the county at odds. Imagine that. And again, I'm very blessed to call the gentleman in the back row my friend. We do have separation of powers, and he is the mayor, and I sometimes poke fun of him, but he is a friend first and has been a friend a lot longer than he's been mayor, and I've been a commissioner. And as I was reading the article, I was just kind of disgusted in and of the fact that we're all on the same team. And I really feel here in Morgan County, whether it be Mooresville, Imnitz, we have differences. We live in different areas, different zip codes, but we are still, for the most part, the same team. And so as we continue to grow and have emergencies, I hope that we can continue to cooperate and work together for the good of all the taxpayers, because it's obvious when you look at some of the budgets of other surrounding donut counties, our budget's a lot less than, and so when you come in and you start looking at roads, you look at recycling, you look at the growth that we're getting, it puts a much greater strain on the lack of resources. And when I say resources, I mean finances. So, you know, when you talk about the good of the county, I'm still very, very proud and happy to be here. And I'll end it on that.
That's a good ending. I thank you. Any other comments from our folks? Well, then I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved?
Motion been made and seconded. Thank you all for being here. Motion passed. Have a good week. We'll see you in a couple.